Right, okay, we're back in Widnes. As you may remember, early on, about maybe 5 months ago, we reviewed Marie's Chippy here in Widnes. And we got a lot of comments to say, look, why don't you try Paul's Chippy in Widnes? And it was surprising how many people actually mentioned that. So we left it for quite a while because, as you know, it's the element of surprise for the chippies, really. And looking in, when we were stood there inside the shop, you could see into the back, you could see where they were working, cleaning away. Lots of soap suds on some of the things that they were cleaning. The place was spotless, absolutely. And it's got a good hygiene rating. The whole place was well presented. The staff were nice, firm, but they were helpful and smiling. So, right, okay, let's get to it. First thing we're going to try is, we've got a bit of an assortment in here. Now, these are made in-house. This is a fish savoury, and this is their chopped suey roll. The burger will have been a frozen burger, no doubt, and then battered. So let's go with the chopped suey roll first, and I'm going to cut a little bit off that. Nice and crispy. It's quite a fat one, actually. I mean, look at that. Right, okay, I've divided the tray up there so my wife can disappear, and starving this morning. Absolutely starving today. And she does like a chopped suey roll, and she particularly likes them when they're cooked in-house like that. That's great. Really tasty. Now then, let's have a look at their fish and chips. I'm going to flatten this box out a bit so you can see. The chips look great. It's a regular cod. It's holding the oil a little bit there. I'm going to cut it down the middle as I always do. Okay, it's not a bad piece of fish. Yeah, that's really tasty. It looks kind of oily. Well, it has got a bit of oil holding onto the batter here. Do you like the new box? It's nice and tidy. It's smaller than the other one. Little carry handle on it though. Let me spoon out of here. It's got everything I need. It's got the vinegar. It's got the sauces, napkins, everything going on. Let's get on to this curry. Bit of noise with these bridges. We've got a railway bridge and we've got a traffic bridge. And then there's a school next door, but they must have brought all the kids in. Oh, you can taste the spice in that. It's got a bit of a kick. It's a very smooth curry. Try a bit more of this fish. Well, this fish was sat in the range on its own, but it looked like what would be a really busy chippy because there was people leaving as we were going. And there was people coming in while we were there. So how long it had been in the range, I've no idea. And like I've said before in the past, I could always ask for a fresh one. And I'm sure they would oblige, but someone's got to eat it. So it might as well be me. As my wife just pointed out then, she's given me, I don't know whether she's giving it me. Yeah. But, in fact, let me just put it over to the side here. And I'll pass on this fish and chips to my wife so she can take that out of the way for a minute while I bring this over here. She actually said to me that there's a lot of noodles in here and not so much in the way of bean sprouts, and that's right, that's what I got from it. But she wanted me to show you this thick bit where most of the noodles had gathered. It's very tasty and different. Yeah, I still stand by what I say. It's delicious. Now then, let's go with the fish savoury. I'm going to cut it in half. You know what? I had a bigger knife and it didn't have that serratedness on this. And this is a new knife. My wife actually liked the other knife, but I'm going to have to get the other knife back, or actually get a decent knife without the serrated edge, just a nice sharp blade. Put that over there. The fish savoury. Let's have a go at it. You can see there's plenty of fish in it. I like a sage stuffing, maybe a mashed potato going on in there to build it up. And it is really, really nice. The battered burger. The only other battered burger I had, like I was saying, was Marie's. And it was here, well, just under the other side of the bridge. And I'm having another one from Widnes. But the batter's nice and crispy now on this one. The burger looks okay. And it is okay. And I expected, with a burger, you expect a lot of grease. But there doesn't seem to be a lot of grease on this at all. Now, the burgers, just get a cloth here. The burgers for these things, and it's the same with the sausages, usually a cheap mix of things because they let out the most flavour. People who are used to eating battered burgers and battered sausage and chippy sausages, they like that flavour. So a really meaty sausage or burger with pretty much no fat in it wouldn't go down too well. I'm going to go back to the computer, look at a few reviews, and then I'm going to write my own. So I'll see you there. So as you can see by that, it was good. And it was a nice, enjoyable day out. And like I said, the staff were friendly, the place was clean, the hygiene rating was up there. You know, it was professionally set out. And it's a professional website. You know, sometimes you get links that just take you straight to Facebook or a Facebook page. But it's nice to be able to see a website. And, you know, I'd recommend anyone that's got their fish and chip shop to get a website going. It doesn't have to be connected to the likes of Uber Eats and things like that, you know, if that's not what you've got. It just has to have a little bit of information about you. And maybe you can update the menu every now and then. When you change it, obviously, you really need to keep on top of that. Otherwise, you know, and your opening and closing times, otherwise people do get upset. So I suppose that's why maybe some people don't have a website. Widnes' most trusted chippy. We are a family-run business established in 1976. Paul's underlying goal has always been to provide fresh, top-quality fish and chips in a friendly, welcoming environment. Our reputation speaks for itself, but every so often our customers like to speak up too. And then there's a little page which goes on about the fish. 100% cod, haddock place, family recipe, the batter, for over, and maybe the cooking method, for over 40 years. So, you know, you can't argue with that really. Fried in non-hydrogenated palm oil, fresh fish delivered every day. Well, let's have a look at some reviews. 2-star. Fish was so thin inside the thick batter, which was undercooked. Bought there before, but this must have been their off day. 3-star. Love the food from here, however, the service isn't great. Had to wait for a while due to them giving someone else our food. 5-star. Just been back to Paul's after a 2-year absence, and the chips, peas and curry were as delicious as ever. The staff were lovely too. Mine, 4-star. Having already reviewed a traditional fish and chip shop in Widnes for the Chippy Tour, I had been recommended Paul's several times. After a few months I decided it was time to give it a try. There is limited parking to the front and some street parking. It's like a little mini car park at the front, maybe get 2 or 3 vehicles in it. And I don't know whether that's a shared car park with other shops, but it's on a corner. But there is quite a long street and there is some space available down there. Upon entering, I found the shop spotlessly clean and tidy. The staff, all in uniform, were busy, with one member up to his elbows in soapy water cleaning equipment in the back. They were friendly and polite. The standard cod and chips were tasty, though the batter was a tad greasy. The chips had good flavour, but were mostly limp, albeit plentiful. The homemade fish savoury was delicious and thick, with a thin, tasty batter. The battered beef burger was nice and a good size. There was a choice of mild or spicy curry, so I opted for the spicier one. It was thick, smooth, and a generous serving. The homemade chopped Suey roll was thick, packed with noodles and small chunks of meat. Cooking in palm oil, hygiene rating 5, cash or card, fish reviewed, cod. So yeah, it was worth going back there. I mean, I don't always want to go back to the same places, but sometimes, like I did with Lee, sometimes, you get people really wanting you to try this other one, or you've had a missed opportunity, or, you sort of give Widnes a chance, or give Lee a chance, or give a different area a chance, and not just rate the whole area just based on one chippy, which I don't base the whole area, but others might if all they find is a review from me for a certain area with a 2 or a 3-star chippy. So yeah, that's fair enough. So yeah, see you on the next one. This is a brand new channel for 2024. So if you like this video, subscribe, share it, like it, hit the notification bell. And if you have any recommendations in your area, put them in the comments.